When I woke up that morning, it felt like any other Thursday. Sunlight pushing its way through the blinds, my son Malik humming to himself while trying to find his other sneaker, and the smell of coffee I'd set on the timer the night before filling the kitchen. I was standing there in my robe, hair tied up, flipping pancakes while checking the news on my phone. That's when the headline caught my eye, something about last night's lottery drawing. I had bought a ticket days ago on a whim, half joking with the lady at the corner store that maybe my luck would finally turn. I typed in my numbers out of curiosity just to see. The first number matched. Then the second. I blinked, thinking I was reading it wrong. By the time the last number came up, my hands were shaking so bad that I dropped my phone right into the pancake batter. "Mama, you okay?" Malik asked, his little brow furrowed. I could barely breathe. "Baby," I whispered, pulling him close. We just won. We just won $50 million. The words didn't even sound real coming out of my mouth. For a few moments, I just stood there, staring at the kitchen clock, thinking about all the bills piled on the counter, the car that broke down every other week, the nights I'd lain awake worrying how to stretch a paycheck until Friday. I thought about how I could finally take care of my mama, who'd worked herself half to death cleaning houses her whole life. I thought about how I could help my sister pay for nursing school. And mostly, I thought about my husband, Darnell, how he'd been so stressed lately, working long hours at his accounting firm, trying to keep us afloat. We'd been arguing about money for months, and I was so sure this news would change everything for us. Finally, I thought, God's given us a break. I grabbed Malik's jacket, still half laughing, half crying, and said, "Let's go tell your daddy." The drive downtown felt like I was floating. Every red light, every car horn, every face on the sidewalk, it all seemed to blur into a dream. Malik was in the back seat, kicking his little legs and singing made-up songs about being a millionaire boy. I was planning everything in my head, the way I'd burst into Darnell's office and surprise him, how we'd hug and cry, how he'd finally smile that deep smile he hadn't shown in months. Maybe we'd even go grab lunch at that Jamaican spot we used to love before money got tight. I parked the car right in front of his building and told Malik to hold my hand tight. The security guard downstairs, Mr. Lacey, waved at us. "Well, look at you two. What's the occasion?" he asked. "Oh, just some good news," I said, unable to stop grinning. He laughed and said, "Well, you go on and spread it." I still remember how my heels clicked against the polished floor of the office building lobby. The elevator ride felt like forever. My heart was pounding, not from nerves, but from excitement. I pictured Darnell's face when I told him. The elevator dinged, and we stepped out into the quiet hallway. I walked toward his office, door halfway closed, and I heard something. At first, it was faint, a laugh, then a voice that wasn't his. A woman's voice. I froze. My mind couldn't quite piece it together right away. Maybe one of his coworkers? Maybe someone on speakerphone? But then came the kind of sound that no wife should ever have to hear. Not loud. Just close. Intimate. I stood there, my son's small hand in mine, and I could feel my heart collapse into itself like paper burning slow. Malik tugged my sleeve and whispered, "Mama?" I didn't answer. My throat went dry, my chest heavy. I turned and walked back toward the elevator as quietly as I could, every step echoing like thunder in my ears. By the time the elevator doors closed, I could feel my body trembling. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But Malik was right there, holding my hand, looking up at me with his daddy's same brown eyes. I couldn't fall apart. Not there. Not yet. The next few hours are a blur in my memory, driving home without saying a word, making Malik lunch even though I could barely swallow a bite, sitting at the kitchen table staring at the lottery ticket that now felt like both a miracle and a curse. Darnell called me twice that afternoon, his voice cheerful, asking why I'd stopped by earlier. "Had a client meeting," he said. "Wish you'd texted first." I just said, "It's fine," and hung up. My heart was too raw, my mind too clouded. I spent that whole evening trying to understand what kind of woman I'd been married to, one who'd worked double shifts, raised our boy, believed in our marriage through everything, and how easily he had chosen to betray that. Later that night, when Malik was asleep, I sat on the couch and let the tears come. They weren't loud tears. They were the kind that just fall quietly one after another, while you stare into nothing. I thought about calling my mother, but she'd worry. I thought about confronting him right then, but I couldn't trust what might come out of my mouth. So I waited. The next morning, I woke up different. Not angry, just clear. I packed Malik's school bag, made him breakfast, and when Darnell came into the kitchen, all showered and smiling like nothing had happened, I handed him a folded piece of paper. "What's this?" he asked. "It's the winning ticket," I said softly. His eyes widened. "We won?" he asked, almost shouting. I nodded. 50 million. He grabbed me, tried to hug me, but I stepped back. "I went to your office yesterday," I said. And just like that, the color drained from his face. He opened his mouth, stammered something about it being a mistake, how it didn't mean anything, how he loved me. I listened. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just said, "You don't get to tell me what means something. I know what I heard." Then I picked up my purse, kissed my son on the forehead, and walked out the door.